Hello, Chidinma. How are you? We are actually live. So we're waiting for the students to join in. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So for those who joined now, I'm gonna drop the link in the comment section so that you can join us live. All right. You have to be fast about it because we can only take 5 persons to join us. This is to enable us not to have too many distractions in class. Yeah, can you see the link? Yeah, I've dropped it. If you can click on that link, I'll be happy to invite you to join us live. Still waiting. Please share the general link, the one you got in the group. Can see Ademola. Welcome. Can you hear me? Adedamola David. Right, can see favor. Can you guys hear me? You can unmute. And
Yeah, good morning.
okay, okay. Welcome, welcome. How are you, Favor?
I'm fine, sir.
I'm fine.
So I hope both of you are in a very quiet place because you would be requested to respond to whether we can be heard or whether um, we are making sense in class. Because the rest of you will be dropping chats and we are going to be seeing them. But if you are not in a very quiet place, you can just allow other people to join the chat. If you are just joining, I'm going to drop the link again so that you can join us. So I've dropped the chat, or rather the link. Okay, see someone is trying to join. Solomon. Yeah, Solomon, can you hear me? Hello, Solomon.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? Please, if you can hear me, can I get a thumbs up? Hello. If you can hear me, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Can I get a thumbs up? Thank you, Ademola. Good afternoon. Um, Shuaibu, can you hear me? Solomon, can you hear me? Can I get a thumbs up? Anyone? Morning, afternoon, just so I'm sure that we can all hear me okay. All right, thank you very much, Folashade. So, without wasting any further time, because we're 5 minutes behind, I'm hoping that everyone who was hoping to get on this class would have gotten in by now. My name is Chimdema Onwebu, and I will be starting and kicking off this Excel free class graciously organized by the Health Techies to help us understand, again, one very vital skill that's important in today's workplace. I am a biomedical scientist by training, and I have pivoted to data analysis. So currently, I work as a data analyst, and I get to use Excel almost every day, in not almost every day, every single day in my workplace. And so I'm sure that the skill you're going to learn or gain over this period of weeks would be very valuable to you. So once again, I welcome you. Can you please confirm, sharing my screen now, I can barely see the chat. So can one person confirm to me, unmute and confirm to me that you can see my Excel file as shared? Are you saying you're welcome to the Health Techies Microsoft Excel Basic to Advanced?
Same.
Can you confirm that you can see that, please? Can you please confirm that you can see my screen? Are you seeing you're welcome to the Health Techies Microsoft Excel Advanced? Can anyone see
Yeah, yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, we
It's
Okay,
up.
see.
It's up.
all right. Thank you very much. Okay, now I have moved to a different sheet. Can you confirm that you can see a plain sheet that has nothing in it as well?
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you. So I just want to be sure that my navigations are working before we start. Can you see my cursor as well? Can you see my cursor moving around?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much for confirming that. All right. So we are going to kick off this morning with a basic introduction to Sheets or a basic introduction to Excel. So Microsoft Excel is one of the many softwares or applications that we find in Microsoft Office 365 or whatever version it is, that you know. So when you hear someone say, I am proficient in Microsoft Office, that is like a whole lot of applications put together in one place. And Microsoft Excel happens to be one of those applications. And when you get into the Microsoft Excel application and open a blank page, this is what it looks like. So this is what we call the home page of the Microsoft Excel. I usually like giving an example with moving into a new home. So you've gone and you've talked to an agent or the landlord or anyone who has a home, who has a house that you want to rent. And then you've told them, please, I want to rent a house. And they've said, okay, can you come for viewing? And then you've come in. The first place you walk into would be the living room. And usually when you come into a home like that you're looking to rent, it's usually empty. So this is what the home page of the Excel looks like. So it's empty. You can do anything you like in this place, just like you can do anything you like in a brand new empty home. You can bring in things into the Excel the same way you can bring in furniture into your new home. And that is what the different tabs, we're going to be going through the different tabs in Excel, what they do. So if you look up here at the top, you'd see home highlighted. There's a little green line under it. At any point where you have this green line under any of these tabs, that tells you where you are. So if you move from the home page, which is a landing page like the living room or the parlor, and you move this tab into a different page, you've gone into another room in Excel, which is called Insert. When you move again, you see that the green line on that keeps following you, that tells you where you are. So under the home page, we are introduced to what the interface of Excel is like. When you look under here in the ribbons, you'd see different things that you can do. When you put in information into this sheet, which we will be doing soon, you can deal with the fonts. You can align it the same way. Your fonts means you can change the things you've inserted, you've written into in Excel. You can change the way it looks by changing the color, changing the size, changing the font here, same way you do in Microsoft Word. If you're familiar with Microsoft Word, you can make it bold, you can italicize it, you can underline it. Now, when it comes to the alignment, the same way if you drive a car or a bicycle or a motorcycle, you need to, go to the garage to do an alignment, or else your tires would keep getting worn out and your car wouldn't be in good position. So you can also do an alignment in whatever it is you brought into Excel. So you can decide to move it to the left, move it to the center, move it to the right, or whatever it is. We are going to be using some of these things as we go on. Now, if what you've entered is a number, you can change it into
Hello,
whatever it is
Chidima.
you like. Yes, please.
Um, can I take maybe like 3 seconds to address some of the questions in the comment section,
Okay, please do.
and then talk a little bit about the program before we continue? I'm so sorry.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Maybe, yeah. Guys, I see a lot of people. Let me confirm first before I start talking, if you can hear me. Uh, Ade, Ade Damola, are you here, please? Are you here, please? Okay, I'm going to kick you out. If you are invited to be here
Yes,
live with me,
yes, I'm here.
if you are invited to be live here with me, please, I respect that your background should be quiet, and when your name is called, you should respond, because we can't invite everybody to be live with us. Okay, Chidima, are you here? Chidima Ubiabono. Chidima Ubiabono, are you here, please? You can unmute if you can hear me.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, please keep your mic unmuted so that you don't need to be you need to be responding to your trainer when she's talking or when I'm asking you questions. And I hope you are in a very quiet place. Oniele, are you here, please? Oniele, I'm not sure if that's how I pronounce. Oniele, are
Yes,
you
I'm
here?
here. I'm here.
Okay, all right. Promise, are you here? Promise, are you here?
Yes, I'm here,
Okay,
sir.
okay,
I'm
all right.
here.
So we have,
Yes, sir.
okay, we have O'Neill, Gift. Okay, that's the last person. Gift, are you here? Hello, Gift, are you here? Okay, Gift is not here. I'm going to kick her out and bring in someone who is active. Um, Let me see. Maxwell, Shaibu Maxwell, are you here? You are muted. Cyber Maxwell, can you unmute and respond to me? Okay, he doesn't know how to unmute, so I'll kick him out. All right, I think we can make do with Promise, Chidima, and Oniele for now. Okay, let me see. Olufola, are you here? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you. I can
Oh,
hear you.
okay, that's fine. Yeah, all right. Please mute. I think you have a noisy background. We need people with less noisy background to join us live. But having said that, I would want to especially take a little time to welcome all of you. And if you are here and you're complaining that your screen is blurry, what it means is that you are trying to save data, and because you are trying to save data by using a low resolution for your YouTube. So if you are complaining that your screen is blurry, go to your YouTube settings. There's a brilliant comment here from Rachel. I'm going to just highlight it. For those complaining about the screen, click on the settings and change your resolution. That's just it. Okay, so I need to remove this person. So that's it. If you do that, if you're it just before we continue, because we don't want to continue the class if everyone is complaining that their screen are blurry. Okay. So do that. If you have done it, drop a comment. Tell us that you've increased the resolution of your screen. Drop a comment quickly that you've done it so that you can start the session. Please do it. Okay. Obong said done. Thank you very much. Please do it. At Turinda McLean, I need you to do it before we continue. Okay, done. Good. I see those comments. You're welcome, our friend from Uganda. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. Please, I need you to do this. You say your screen is blurry. Please increase the resolution of your screen. And when you do that, quickly just drop down so that we can continue. Please do it quickly. Done. Okay. Done. Good. Done. Thank you. Because I had a little meeting with Mrs. Chidinma this morning, and she's going to be taking you on Saturdays. She'll be taking you on Saturdays, and I'm going to be taking you on Sundays. On Saturdays, the time is 12 to 2 p.m. WAT. So you can just click on the link when it's sent to you. You don't need to download any software. StreamYard is just like you watching your normal music videos on social media or whatever. Adrian said yours has refused. Please check how you can do that quickly and get back into the class. Yes, it's going to be on record. That means that this is a free class, guys. We are going to send you recordings of the session today and tomorrow. But from next week, please, only those. Um, anyway, I'll talk about this later. But from next week, we are not going to be sending the recordings to you because we believe that if you are attending a session like this, you shouldn't also play with our time. And by refusing to be live with the intention of listening to the recording, we need to be here to have interactions with all of you. Now we have over 150 people. So by the time everyone has gotten used to using platforms like this, you know how to unmute, you know how to share your screen, you know things, and we are confident about it. Then we are going to migrate from using YouTube, which helps us limit the distractions, to using Google Meet or Zoom or Microsoft Teams. In the past, we've had experiences where we started off with Zoom, and then the whole thing was becoming so messy. People were unmuting themselves, and people were making a whole lot of noise. We keep saying, please mute, please mute. By the time we say all of that, 5 minutes is gone, 10, 20, and the whole class became a mess. So we discovered StreamYard, and it helps us to kind of limit the number of people we are allowed to speak. We also limit people who are new to tech, and they just want to distract us, because not because they want to, but because they just don't know how to use the platforms. So this program is going to run for 8 weeks or seven, and we are going to be here. So if you have any question as to everything I've talked about, the timing, the introduction of the session, we're going to start from basics. But I understand that some of you are not here to learn the basics. I want to see in the comment section right now. Do you want to start from basics? Do you want us to start from basics? Say I want basics Excel. You could type that in the comment section. If you don't want, we just leave the whole basic class and then move into maybe intermediate or advanced. How many of you are interested in knowing everything from the basics, from scratch? Okay, I see. On Sunday is 2 p.m. please, not 12 p.m. 2 p.m. W80. 2 p.m. W80. 2 p.m. W80. 2 p.m. W80. Okay, all right. So a lot of people want the basics class. So we are going to drop the material that we are going to be using in this class in a few seconds. Please check your WhatsApp groups, and I want to please let me see. We have three groups. I don't know how many groups you guys belong to, but we have like three groups. I'm going to have to share this. Chidima Obiabunu, which group are you? Which group are you? Hello, Chidima
Yes, hello. I want to check. I
Obiabunu.
think I'm in group. Yes, I can hear you. I think I'm in group 1 or 2, but I'm not sure. Let me check.
What about you, Shaibu Maxwell? Huh? Shaibu, now you are muted, but you need to like talk when I call your name.
Okay, I'm in group 2. Hello.
Hi,
Okay.
David. I'm in group 2.
Olufola, what about you? You are in group two.
I'm in
Okay,
group
both
one.
of you are in group two. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for understanding this. Just to re-emphasize, please, the recording for this session is going to be available only for today and tomorrow. From next week, we are only going to be handling so that we can move away from using StreamYard to using Google Meet. But it's going to be only for selected groups of people. The advanced Excel class, trust me, this class is totally free from beginning to the end. We're not going to charge you anything for being here. We're not going to charge you anything for being in class. But because we have thousands of people who have registered and who are going to be listening to these sessions, we are only going to respond to questions, and we are going to send recommendations, certificates, your internship, and all of those specs that come with the program like this. We are going to work with only selected people, only selected people. All right, only selected people. But to attend your classes, understand what Microsoft Excel is all about, everybody is invited. You can join, we are not charging you anything for that. I hope this is clear. So that please, you don't, Miss Chidima is not in any of the groups. I am the only one that is in the groups because I want to be able to see what's going on there. And then you are going to have virtual assistant Kasurat assisting as well. Okay, it's another type of distractions. So we are going to have the virtual assistant who is going to be there to assist you guys in everything that you're doing in terms of questions and all of that. But you are not going to have access to me after the live class. Only those who are going to be selected are only those who choose to be in the premium group. I have to just say this on time so that between today and tomorrow, I can already see a lot of people in the WhatsApp groups telling me that they are not going to attend the class, that they are going to watch the recording. Guys, we spend a lot of time to teach these things. 2 hours, almost 6 hours every single week, and we are not charging you anything for it. The least that you can do for us, is to be in class when we call you to be in class. It is not fair that you leave whatever you tell us that you're not going to be in class, that you're going to. We understand if you have a different time zone or if you're at work, but if you just feel that you can be anywhere and decide to just listen to the recording, and then when you listen to the recording during the week, you now feel okay, it's time to ask question, and then you bash into our DM and ask all those questions. We are not going to attend to you. It's not fair. That's why we encourage you to be in class. I'm going to emphasize this for those who join much later on. I'm still going to be here. For those who join later on, I'm going to re-emphasize this. But it's not fair that you don't want to attend classes, you want to listen to a recording, only for you to barge into our DMs at any time of your choosing and then begin to ask questions, because you were not in the live class. The live class is where you ask your questions. The live class is where you drop your comments and do everything. We are going to attend to you for the hours allotted to teach you this thing. 7 weeks, totally free, attendance, totally free, right? But if you want to be in the premium group where the group is going to be open after classes, you can ask questions, you will get your certificate when you are done, you could get recommendations. We are even going to have an extra session where we talk about where you can get data entry jobs or roles and things like that. Then those are the people who are going to be attending to every single week. I will be there to attend. We can even have extra classes and things like that. But if you are here, you can't, you are not in the premium group. I'm not talking about the premium group now. Anyway, we'll do that when I'm talking about the class tomorrow. And you're not in the premium group, you just feel you don't want to attend the live classes, so you just want to watch the recording at your will and then bash into our DM and start asking questions. Totally free, trust me. For the next couple of weeks, we're not going to say come and pay anything to be in class, but you have to trust that for you to be in the live class, you have to be around to ask all those questions you have. But if you feel you need extra time, you need extra attention, then you can send me a message after your class today. I think with that, I'll allow Mrs. Chidema to continue the class while we send the material for the class in your WhatsApp groups. Please do not abuse these materials when we send them to you. It is our intellectual property, and we appreciate if you respect it that way and if you keep it. We have a legal team on our back. When we see that our materials is abused, we are not going to be very joke about it. But again, we are here to have fun. I felt that little and short introduction to how the program is going to be like would really much help. And from the comment section, I can see a lot of people really interested in having a basic, like start from basic Microsoft till intermediate to advanced. And I'm a data analyst. I've been in the tech space for over a decade. Chidima is a senior data analyst in the United Kingdom, and we are so happy to have our expertise with us, and of course myself, I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. So that's like we know what we are doing. Basically, that's just what so if you are just joining, don't worry, you are not late. Amechi, what do I mean by abusing my materials? Yes, by abusing materials, I mean do not send the materials we send to you for your personal use without letting us know. That is just it. It is like writing, taking a book that doesn't belong to you, removing the author's name and putting your name. That's what I mean. Right? Don't send any material we send to you in the WhatsApp groups. Don't send into your that is okay. I hope that is clear. Hope that is clear and clear. So yeah, I'll be talking about the premium group tomorrow. It's not a big deal, guys, but we just don't want to work with people who are not serious for the premium group. I'll talk about it tomorrow. If you remind me, I will do that when we're meeting in class tomorrow. All right, Chidima, I'm so sorry for taking your time, but I feel this information was very critical.
Okay. Hiya. Can everyone hear me okay again? Yes? No?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay. Thank
We
you
can
very
hear you.
much, Mr. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I got that. Thank you very much, Mr. David. So with all that being said and done, among me, I know they like place where they tensed. Okay. Like you said, we are here to learn, and it's best that we are learning in a very convivial and happy environment. So I hope we take all of the instructions to heart, and not let it, bother us so much. So I'm going to go back now to sharing. Mr. David, I don't know, probably I'm not sure if I'm sharing, I'm unable to see the chat. So it's I don't know, is there something I need to do about that, or do you keep monitoring the chat and then try to stop me if there's any question that needs attention?
At that very point, when you are live in your class, you can appoint any of those who are live with you to actually assist, look at the chat, see if there are questions and things like that. Because I'm not always going to be here
Going to
when
be
you
here.
have your
Okay, so
session
I'm
on
just trying to
Saturday.
be sure
Today
that
it's
I'm
like,
not making a mistake.
yeah.
I'm not making a mistake with the where I share, because when I share the screen, because it's not a slide, because I have to share the screen and share the Excel file, I can't see the chat. Is that normal, or am I doing something wrong?
You mean the normal chats or like the private chats?
Both. So if
Because
I
we have a
share my
private chat
screen,
that can.
so if I share my now that I'm not sharing my screen, okay, I can see both the private chat and the general chats. But the moment I get to share my screen now and bring up the Excel file, I'm unable to see anything else. Am I sharing it wrongly?
Okay, okay. Well, I don't know how that works really, but let's do this. can you use two devices to attend the session? One for your teaching and one to check the
And
charts.
one
Would
for
that work?
uh no, not no. I wouldn't want to start disorganizing myself. Okay,
Is
so one person would have to pay
no,
attention to
no,
the
no, no,
chat.
no. Definitely not now. But
Not
I
now.
don't know. Can
Yeah.
we trust any of these guys? Chidinma, can we trust you to do that? Chidinma, Ubia Bunu. Can we
Hi.
trust you to
Hi,
look at the
good.
charts for us?
Yes.
Okay. So at any point when I stop and
Hmm?
I ask if there's any question,
Yeah.
okay, then you can begin to point out the questions. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm going to go
There's
back
a
right now.
question. There's a
Okay.
question I want to address quickly by this because I may not remember this.
Okay.
One thing I talked about, if we are going to be certified, yes, you are, but trust me, anyone you see with a certificate from the health tech agency has submitted their assessments and projects. The person is a certified whatever. So, and we can't just give certificates to those who attend free classes, right? You need to work on your assessments and projects, and only those in a premium group would have access to some of these things, recommendations, job opportunities, and whatever thing that is attached to learning a skill like Microsoft Excel. Free is a free class because it's free to attend, right? But if you want us to go beyond offering you just a free class, getting you opportunities and showing you where you could get those opportunities, rather giving you free Excel materials or textbooks, giving you certificates, giving you and reviews to your assessments and projects and things like that. Then come on, guys, we can't do all of those totally our own. We can't bear the cost of running that for you for over 200 people in your groups. You are more than 8,000, right? For the different groups. We can't just do that and bear the cost. That's why we say, yeah, those who are going to be selected for, to those groups, those are the ones we're working with. And I think I can attend to these other questions you may have from tomorrow. Please, tomorrow, so that we can continue with the class. Please go ahead, Chidima. I think I'm done here.
All right, thank you. The more we keep asking questions, though, we know if you do anything today, Osha. So maybe we shall hold bullets on the question. Just hold on the questions. What you're learning is more important. And as someone who has been where you are right now, I'll tell you, this is not discouraging you about trying to get certificates, but I'll tell you that the certificates are not as important as what you need to learn. And that's a given. The certificate is not as important as what you need to learn, because you could lose the certificate,
True, true.
you'll never lose what you know. So please keep that at the back of your mind,
Mhm.
okay? All right, let's jump right in again. So I can't see the chat anymore right now. So Chidema, can you see my screen? Yes or no?
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. So for those who just started, we had started something, but let's start all over again. So I said that this is what the Excel interface looks like, and that Microsoft Excel is one of the applications or softwares that is embedded in the Microsoft Office 365 or Microsoft Office at all. So when someone says that they are proficient in Microsoft Office, what they are saying is, I know everything about Microsoft, which includes Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Planner, Microsoft Visio, Microsoft, there are so many Teams, forms. So the Microsoft Office is a total package of its own. And then the Microsoft Excel is one of the applications that you use that come with that package. I saw someone ask a question saying, so how do I download Excel? If you have a Microsoft account, then you would have access to Excel. I don't know how it works in Nigeria, I'm not sure, but you could, when you buy a laptop, yes, when you buy a laptop, they should pre-install it the Microsoft Office, if you ask, they should pre-install it in your laptop. Where I am, you have to pay for it to use it. So that's how you get it. It comes pre-installed. You should request that it's pre-installed in your laptop when it comes. Now, when you open your laptop, how do you get to the Microsoft Excel interface? When you come to the search bar or wherever yours is, here, and just type Microsoft Excel or just type Excel, you should see this. And then when you click open, it should open a worksheet like this for you. So this is how you get to the Excel interface. So like I had said earlier, when you open an Excel sheet, this is the first thing you should see, and that is the home tab. When you look at the top left, is to my left where I am. When you look at the top left, you'd see that the home is highlighted, and anywhere you see this little green line under on any of these tabs, that tells you where you are at any point. So now when you come into Excel, you are in the home. And I gave an example of the home looking like you coming into a new house that's got nothing in it. You've just rented it. And so it's empty. You could do so many things in that empty house. Looking at the tabs here, you could insert things into that house. You could bring in furniture, you could bring in pictures, you could bring in bed, you could bring in anything at all that you like. And that's what you could do with the insert function in Excel. Now, when you have brought in things, still using that example of a brand new house, okay? When you bring in those things, so you've come into a home, okay, that is blank and empty, and there's nothing in it, and then you've brought the things that you have from the old house you were living in, or the new things that you bought, you've brought them into the house. That's insert. So you can do that in Excel. Now, when you've brought those things into the house, you need to begin to lay them out. Okay, so I want this thing to be an L shape, or I want it to be a U shape, or I want to keep this color here or this thing here and keep the other one there. That's what you can do with the page layout in Excel as well. So you come into an empty home, you can bring in the things that you want, and then you can begin to lay them out the way you want them to be. That's the kind of thing you can do in the page layout tab of Excel. Now, when you have laid out those things, you can now begin to give out rules and regulations. You see this parlor now that, for those of us who have children, you see this parlor now that I have, this new house that I've come in and I've brought in things, I've inserted things, I have laid them out, arranged them the way they want to be. You cannot wear your slippers and come in here. If you must come into this house, into this parlor when it is swept, you need to first remove your slippers outside, dust your feet, and then you come in. I akin that to the formulas in Excel. So in the formula tab in Excel, it tells you the rules, things you need to do to get certain results. And we're going to be using lots of formulas in Excel. So this tab in Excel helps you say you know what you want to do, but you're not sure how to do it. It reminds you. But we are not going to be referring to this a lot because we will tend to know the formulas we need. You will understand this as we go ahead. But the example I'm giving, using the home example, is just so you understand, what all these tabs are for. So remember that the formulas are more of giving you rules and regulations, things you need to do to achieve good results. Now, the data tab, using again the house formula, would be like you saying, okay, we've come into this home, we've brought in things, we've laid them out the way we want. I've given rules and regulations about the output I want. Now, the output that you have gotten, so you've told your children, before you come in here, first remove the slippers. You're going to see this when we start using formulas in Excel. I'll tell you, before you do this, first do this. So after you've given them those rules and regulations, okay, and then they've been keeping it, what is the outcome? That is data. So your house is cleaner for longer. Okay. For how long does it remain clean? So under the data tab is where you now begin to analyze all the information that has come out from the things you've inserted, from the way you've laid it out, from the formulas you've put in. This is where you begin to analyze what you've done. Just like in the new home, you can say, okay, so this house that I've kept like this, okay, the lighting is making this place to look like this. Oh, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So because of this, now when I come in here, I now feel good. This is the data. This is the information you're now getting from Excel. Now, with the information you've gotten in the review tab, consider this as in that new home again. Okay, you're beginning to get feelers from your children. Oh, mommy, anytime I come, I wear my slippers and come in here, I don't even feel comfortable anymore, you know. So the rules are working, things are going the way they're supposed to be. The review tab here, after you've done everything you need to do before you send it out, you may want to use this to, you know, check your spelling, check your workbook statistics, check, you know, do some checkings as you go. This is just a general overview of things you do. And the view tab is also, you know, likened to it. There are a couple of things here in this tab that, you know, you could do. I want to explain this now away from the house example. Now, in the view tab, when you look at this blank Excel sheet, okay, I'm still going to come down to it. You can see that it has vertical lines. Can you see? Can you confirm that you can see this line? It has vertical lines that divides A, B, C, D. Can you see the lines? Yes, no? Can anyone confirm that they can see
Yes,
the
yes, we
vertical
can
lines?
see it.
Yes, good. So you can see that they are vertical lines and then they are horizontal lines. Can you see them as well? The one that divides 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Can you see them? The horizontal lines. Can you see
Yes, we
that as
can.
well? Good. So the way this sheet is appearing is the default format of Excel. You always have these horizontal lines that we call columns, and these vertical lines that we call columns. So vertical is that it's running from top to bottom. So it's dividing the A. You can see A, B, C. These are called columns. You always have vertical lines and horizontal lines, which is 1, 2, 3, which we call rows. So this is the default way you would see Excel. But there are certain things you may want to be doing in Excel, and you don't want to be seeing these vertical lines, you know. So when you get to the point where you are trying to maybe build a dashboard or create a report, then you wouldn't want to be seeing these lines. You can remove them. You see this place where we have grid lines written, formula bar written, headings written. If you uncheck the grid lines, what can you see? What did you notice happened here? Anyone?
The lines
Emma, what did
are
you
normal.
The lines are no more. So it took away those lines. You see. So if I check it back, you see that the lines are back. So you may want to take out the lines depending on what you want to do, and this goes off. Now, if I uncheck the formula bar, can you see what happened? Something went off. I'll check it back. So there is this line here that is called the formula bar. You'll begin to see it when we start typing formulas. This is where it will be appearing. So if you want to take this off, this is how you want the view to be. You uncheck it, it goes off. If I uncheck the headings, you can see that the titles of the column headings and the row headings have gone off. The ABCD is off. The 1, 2, 3 is off. Again, this depends on what you want to do and what you want to achieve. So like it's called, these are, you know, the different ways you can present this. All of these things have what they do. And as you begin to interact with Excel and gain more proficiency, then, you know, you begin to understand how they are. So I need to have at the back of your mind that every single tab you see here in Excel, all of these, they get work. They're not here for fancy. But that doesn't mean that you will use them all the time. So it's just for you to know that they all have what they do. So that anytime you come into the Excel interface, it depends on what you want to do. That will determine what tab you're going to be on. Now, when you come down to the home page, like I mentioned earlier, in the ribbons, you would see that we've got different sections in the home ribbon. We've got the font, we've got the alignment, we've got numbers, we've got styles, cells, editing, add-ins. Again, all of these things have what they do. And we're going to be using a couple of them as we go ahead in the class. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, Excel comes by default in columns, and the columns are named alphabetically. So we've got column A, column B, column C, column D, and so on and so forth till infinity. And we've also got rows, which is named numerically. So we have row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Sorry, someone is at my door. Can you just give me 1 second? Let me get the door. Just 1 second, please. Oh, not 1 second, 1 minute. All right, thank you very much. Sorry. So we've got rows which are named numerically. Now, the intersection between a column and a row is called a cell. I'll take that again. The intersection between a column and a row is called a cell. And the cell is named by the combined name of the column and the row. So take this for example. This is column A, and this is row 1. This cell, which is the junction between column A and row 1, will be called cell A1. This is column F, and this is row 6. Now, the intersection between row 6 and column F would be called cell F6. And it is always displayed in this little box here at the, is this top left or right? So you can see the name here, F6. Now I'm going to throw this question and I want you to answer so that I'm sure that you got it right. This is column K, and this is row 12. What would this cell be called? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
K12. K12.
Hello, can you hear me? Oh, Chinekena.
Yes, I can hear you. Chidima, I think you need to be responding when she asks questions like that. Okay. And the rest of you that are on the live call, Dare Olufola, Ade Damola. That's
All
why you
right.
are here, right?
Okay.
Yes,
Please do
Kitso.
respond so that like I said, I can't see the chat. So if you don't respond, I wouldn't know. It means I'll have to exit and then come back to look at it again. Okay, thank you. So am I still sharing my screen?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So we now understand, columns, rows, and cells. Awesome. So with that understanding and not wasting a lot of time, let's move right in and look at what we can do with Excel. Okay, one more thing I need to mention is that when you open an Excel sheet like this, you are introduced first to a sheet, which is this. But you can change this sheet to a book by creating extra sheets. So just like you have your book, whether it's your exercise book or a novel, what makes it a book is that it is a combination of different sheets. So if you have just one paper, you won't call it a book. But when you have a lot of paper put together and bound, you can then call that a book. So that's what Excel is. So when you're just looking at one sheet like this, let me open a brand new one so we see. So when you look at this, you say this is just one sheet. Okay. But when you look up here, you will see that this is called a book because it has the ability to hold multiple sheets. How do you get another sheet out of this? When you come under here, you see where this is titled sheet 1. And then you see this plus sign beside it. Can you see this, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So when you click on this, it brings out another sheet. And when you click on this again, it brings out another sheet. And you can have as many sheets as you want. And then when you have so many sheets put together, it is called a book, a workbook. So you can have a workbook and you can have a worksheet. You can name this sheet whatever you want by right-clicking on it. It brings up this pop-up and then you click on rename and you can name it anything you want. Test. You can rename this patients. Sorry, I'm using this because of my background. And you can rename this maybe payments or whatever, you see. So you have named this sheet. So on this sheet, you put in, maybe let's say you work in a lab, okay? You can decide to list the name of all the tests you do here, and their prices and all. So if you come to this sheet, this is what you see. When you come to this other sheet, here you will be storing things like the name of the patient, what they came to do and stuff like that. In this other sheet, you may decide to be storing information about what, how much they paid or how much revenue came in. I don't know. Is what I'm saying making any sense at all? Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So all these things put together, you can now decide to name this book. You can go to File, Save As, and then you can name it as, what do I call it now? Laboratory inventory or laboratory data. Laboratory data. And you save it. You see. So this is how you get the sheet. I decided to give this example so that when I go back to our workbook here, you see that I moved from the welcome page to introduction to sheet. This is how all of these were named. And so this tells us what we are going to be seeing in any sheet that we go into. So now let's move to the next sheet by clicking on it, and it's called the sum. Any questions so far? I'll come back right in to see what's going on. Any questions so far?
None from here.
None from here. Awesome. Okay, so let me go right back to my sheets. Okay. Now, when you hear some, now one of the very first things I'd want to say before I start teaching is keep your mind blank, like take yourself back to nursery 2 or nursery 1 or primary 1. These are things that you know. It's just the English language. Okay. So the moment you understand the English language and what it is that you want to do, it's easy. So when you hear some, okay, it's what you know. I'm Igbo and I don't know what you call it, but some is simply mbako, addition, putting things, aggregating things. That's what it is. So instead of using your calculator or your brain to do it, you tell Excel, I want you to do a sum for me, and it does it. And the difference between using Excel to do it and using your calculator or you're using your brain to do it is that with Excel, you have less opportunity of making mistakes. Because using the calculator, has less opportunities of mistake than using your brain. So you use your brain, you can get the answer, but you have a higher risk of mistakes. Use calculator, you get the answer, but there is also a certain risk of mistake. Use Excel to do your calculations. There is a 0.001 opportunity of mistake. And the mistake that will happen would be if you do not put in the right information. And that's why I'm saying that what you need is to understand the English so that you can then interpret the English with formulas. So the first thing we're going to be doing is sum, and it is the normal sum that you know. So what you're looking at the top left corner is a little data. This is data. It is data because it is giving us information. This is also another set of data because it is giving us a different set of information. Now, let's deal with this data. This data is telling us something. In one column, we have fruits. It's telling us something about fruits. And in another column, it is telling us something about the amount that was sold. Sorry, one more thing before I go ahead. One may be asking, how then do we put these things in here? I didn't get to do that. So what we have here, we have some fruits, we have amount. So let's try and put this in here for those who said they want complete basics and they don't know how. So let's say that you are, okay, can somebody just tell me something they do? What's your job? What do you do at the time? I'll look at the chat now. Somebody should just tell me what they do. What do you do? Just one person. What's your profession? What do you do? Are you a tailor? Do you sell fruits? Do you sell just one person? So I'll use that as an example. In the chat, somebody just tell me, what do you do? What's your job? Selling learning aid. Okay. Who else? One more person. You sell fabrics. You're a teacher. Okay. I like teachers, so sorry, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to use teaching as an example. That's fine. So, but then you can still draw that information, okay, from here to your own, whatever it is that you do. So let's use teaching, the teacher own, for example. So as a teacher, some of the things you'll be dealing with would be things like your student's name, right? You need to know your student's name. Or let's start with ID. Your students may have an ID number. So when they register in school, they have an ID. So instead of writing it using ruler to draw lines, and make columns, Excel has already drawn that line here in this. This is a column A, B, C. Excel has already drawn that line for you. So you don't need to draw it again. So what do? You give each column a title of what you want it to have. So here, let's say this is your student ID number. So this is where you put in IDs. And then in the next column, you want to have their name. So you type in name. This is how to begin to create data. In the next column here, you may want to have their age. This is how to type in. So you type into the cells themselves. Does this make sense at all? Yes, no?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. So you begin to type whatever you want into the cells. Okay. So another thing you may want to know is the agenda. Then let's say you want to put in their scores for attendance. Used to be a lecturer. Attendance. And then you have another place where you put in their score for continuous assessment, CA. And then you can create another column for their final exam score. And then you can have another column for their total score. Then you can then have another column for their grade, whether it is A, B, C. And then you can have another column for position. Auntie teacher or uncle teacher, is this making any sense to you at all? I want to
Yes,
see
it
that.
is.
Yes, it is. Okay, good. So you see, this is how to enter data here. And so it means that in this column, okay, you enter the ID of your patient, not patients, the ID of your students, because that's what we're using. Now, I want you to see something. Let me kill two birds with one stone. Can you see that this data, this information here, they are aligned? Where are they aligned to? One person. Remember, we talked about alignment sometime. How are they aligned?
They are aligned to the left.
They are aligned to the left.
Yes.
So they are aligned to the left. Uncle, come on, get away you. Don't want you. So I personally don't like, my text being aligned to left or right. I like to have my things centered so that I can be seeing what I'm seeing and be sure of what I'm seeing. So you can decide to, do you see what I did? I selected the area I wanted and I clicked on, this is alignment. Okay, so this means move it to the left. Let's do this again. So this means move it to the left, move it to the right, move it to the center. So remember what I said about home and it's empty, and then you put what you want, and then you begin to move them around as you want. So this is how you can enter data. And then for your ID, you can start with 001. What is the name of the person that has the ID of 1? It could be Nkechi Michael. Sorry, your name is Nkechi Michael. You see, so this is how you begin to generate data. I don't want to dwell on this, but I felt it's important that I mention it. What's the person's age? Maybe 20 years, gender, female. Oh, my baby is crying. So you can now begin to put in their scores, okay, as you want. So you see that as a teacher or whatever it is you do, somebody said they were a tailor, they sew clothes. The same thing. You can give your clients ID, put in their name, whether it's male or female. Then you now begin to have different columns where you now put in things like, the statistics. So bust, hip, length, weight, you put all those things there and it makes it easy, for you to arrange. This is how you put in data. So this is how this came about, by just typing things in, the way you want them. Any questions at this point?
None from here.
None from here. Okay, that's fine. So is all of this making sense? Can I get a thumbs up or thumbs down? Making sense so far?
Yes, making so much sense.
All right. Okay, that's fine. So let's proceed. So now to do the sum function, if you want to do the uncle that is enjoying himself, thank you very much. God bless you. So here, this data is telling us something. It's telling us something about fruits and the amount that was sold. So let's say that Nkechi sells, sorry if your name is Nkechi. I'm not a Proco doctor, but I like calling Nkechi as well. So let's say Nkechi sells fruits and she has gone out today and she sold this amount of fruits. today, and she wants to find out how much have I sold today. So you use the sum function in Excel. This little tip here is telling you, the different ways that you can use Excel. One thing I would want you to do, as part of somebody who is in this class, because I'm a very hands-on person and very proactive as well. Don't depend on what I'm going to say, because my knowledge is limited. So is Mr. David's. So is everyone else's. So if we give you one, please take that one, run along with it, and add to it, because there is always more than one way of doing something. So I may not start using all of these 3 formulas to do this for you, because it is written down here as a tip for you to follow when you are trying to do your private practice. So these are the 3 different ways that you can do this. You can put in the equal to sign in this box where you want to see your sum, and then start typing sum, S-U-M. Excel brings up the different functions of Excel or formulas of Excel that looks like SUM. Can you see this pop up here?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
we can.
So you see, there are different
Yes,
things
please.
there. Some if, some products. But you can see that by the side of each one that is highlighted, it tells you what that one does. Then it prompts you to, help you decide on which one is the right one for you. So this one that is highlighted says it adds all the numbers in a range of cells. If this is what you want to do, you select it. If it's not that one, you click on this one. It says add the cells specified by a given condition or criteria. This doesn't look like what we want to do. What we want to do is to add up all the numbers in this cell. So we choose the one we want. So you can see that Excel also keeps prompting you, helping you to make the right decision. So when you've chosen that, Excel is now saying, what is the first number that you want to add? You see, it's highlighted. So anyone that is highlighted like this tells you that is what you need to do. So what's the first number? This is the one. You've selected that. What's the next thing it says we should do? Put a comma. After you put a comma, have you seen it has jumped to number 2? Did anybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you now put in the next one you want to do, another comma. It goes to the next one, put in the next one, another comma, put in the next one, like that until you get everything you want. Then you can close the brackets and hit enter. And that gives you the sum. But you can see that the reason we were able to, now when I click on this place, can you look at the formula bar here? You see, it tells us the formula. And so maybe let's say you didn't get the right, the right output you wanted, and you want to change something, you can always come here and change it. Now, you can see that we kept selecting these numbers one by one. And that's because we have a small data set. If you're going to be going further, or you're going to be dealing with large numbers, you could have like up to 100,000 or 10,000 cells to add up. You can't possibly keep clicking one by one. It's going to take you forever. And so there's another way that you can do this. Put your equal to sign whenever remember what I said about formula and home when I was making the explanation before. So when you begin to give rules and regulations, one of the first rules with Excel is that you must put an equal to sign if you're trying to do any function or put in a formula. You must put in the equal to sign, or else Excel will assume that you are trying to put in a text and not a formula. So you put in the equal to sign, and because you want to do a sum, you type sum, you choose, and then you click on the first number that you want, that is in the range of cells you want to add up. hold down your left cursor and drag down until you get to the end of the numbers you want to add up. You can then release that and then close your bracket and hit enter. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you can also do something else, which I've never tried to do. The third formula says where you want to see, third formula, click on where you want to see your total and click auto sum. Ngwano. Let's take this out. And we click on here and we go to auto sum. Did you see what happened? Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we have tried using these formulas. Now on your own, play around with the one that says alt plus equal and see if that works for you as well. So this is how to do a sum in Excel. So here, Nkechi went out today and she sold apples, oranges, bananas, lemons. She's come back. This is how much she sold: 100 naira for apples, 100 naira for 20 naira for oranges, 60 for bananas, 40 for lemons. And then she's come back, and without spending so much time, she has gotten her formula, put in a formula. She's gotten her all her sales for the day. And even if she made 1,000 different sales for that day, with just this formula, it will calculate all the 1,000 sales at once for her. Now let's come down to the second data that says sum if. Now here, Nkechi has, okay, let's not say Nkechi now, let's use a man, Pius. I like a Aproko doctor. So Pius sells automobiles. So he sold cars, trucks, bikes, skates, you know, and he wants to find out, okay? He wants to find out here the sum of, okay, this using the sum if, Abby. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So he wants to find out, the sales that he made today. He wants to find out the sales that he made today. Sorry, a little distraction there. He wants to find out the sales that he made today that is greater than 10 naira. So he sold a lot of things. He sold cars, he sold trucks, bikes, and skates. Or let's not say 10 naira, let's say quantity. So he wants to find out the sum of everything that was sold today that was more than 10 naira. Now, this has already been worked out. If you look at the formula bar here, you can see the formula for it. So what I'm going to do now is to walk you through, turn this formula into English language. So what has happened here is that an instruction has been given to Excel and said, please, I need a sum. Remember that what we did here was a total sum of everything, no condition. But here, what we're saying is, looking at this formula, what we are saying is, Excel, please, if anything was sold today that is greater than 10 naira or 10 pounds or $10, add it up for me. But if it is less than 10 naira, please exclude it. Don't add it up. I know we have a mix of people here, so let me not be saying naira. So if it is more than 10, don't add it. This is called a logical function. And if the first one was sum everything, this one is saying sum it if it meets this condition. Is it getting confusing at all? Do you understand it? Is it getting confusing? Yes, no?
No.
All good. All right. Now, so what this formula is saying is Excel, sum if the data between B16, this is B16, and B19. So sum if the data between B16 and B19, comma, is greater than, this is the greater than sign, is greater than 10. So let's try typing it in and see if we get the same result. Equals to, you start typing sum if because you want to do a conditional statement. See, it's bringing up the sum if for you, which says add the cell specified by a given condition or criteria. So you choose this. And then the first thing it is asking you for is the range. Remember I said that Excel will always prompt you. So the one that is in capital letters tells you what it wants you to do. So it says sum if range. What is the range of the data? This is where the data is from here to here. Comma. Is saying okay. What is the criteria? Our criteria is anything that is greater than 10. Now, if you're typing anything else that is not a number within an Excel formula, you need to put it in parentheses so that Excel understands that this is different. So you put it in parentheses, you type the greater than sign, greater than 10, you close your parentheses, and then you close it. At the end of the formula, you type, you hit enter, and it has given us the exact same result. Now we can change this at any time. Let's say, please sum anything that is greater than 20. See, our result is 40 because 40 is the only number here that is greater than 20. How does this relate to your work again? Let's say that you are a tailor and so many people have come to your shop to do so many things today and you've captured their data. You know, your receptionist has captured their data, you know, how much they paid. Now, you know that those who came to maybe do amendments will pay things like 50 naira, 100 naira, or, you know, or whatever amount, you know, small amounts because they've come to do amendments. But people who actually came to make new clothes would pay you up to like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. So let's say that you've gotten, your receptionist has put in all the data and then you've taken it home for the day. And then you want to find out how many people actually came here, you know, to pay for new clothes to be made. So you can now say, using this sum if function and say, please sum if the number, if anything here is, you know, greater than 100 naira, because you know that 100 naira is the amount that you use to do amendments. Or maybe you say anything greater than 500. Now I know how much money I made, you know, in thousands. I don't know if this makes sense at all. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now, the same thing applies here. You may want to go home, you know, and then, you know, use play around with this. You might also want to use the sum function here, using any of the functions I've showed, put equal to sign, sum, open brackets, you select your range of cell, close, or you can also click on this place and click on auto sum. Look at auto sum here at, you know, somewhere towards the top right. So you can do that as well. You can also try to play around with this. You may also want to play around with you know, both the sum and the sum if, you know, using these examples for yourself. And if you have, you know, any questions at all, you may want to reach out. Now, what we have here is introducing you to the basic Excel functions. I think I should have done this first before going, but it's okay. So these are the signs for the Excel functions or operations. So when you want to do a plus, you know, when you want to do an addition is a plus. That's if you have small numbers. So let's play around with this. Let's play around with this. If you want to do addition, you just say 2 equals to 2 plus 4, and it should give you the answer. And if you want to do a subtraction, it's a minus, 2 minus, so say 4 minus 2. I forgot my equals to 4 minus 2. See, so if you want to do multiplication, the sign for multiplication in Excel is not X, it is star 556. Is this asterisk rather? So if you want to do a multiplication equals to 4 times 2. If you want to do a division in Excel, it's the backslash. So using the 4 again equals to 4 backslash 2. If you want to do a raised to power, so 2 raised to power 4. Is this, I don't know. What do you call this sign? Mathematics people, anybody here? What do you call that sign? In my laptop, it's on the second function of 6.
Percentage.
Eh? No, not percentage.
Percentage.
The power. What do you call that?
Okay.
That's inverted something. So it's just like saying 2 raised to power 2 is 4. 2 raised to power 4 is, But I didn't put the equal to sign. You see that thing I was saying? I didn't put the equal to sign. So Excel didn't understand that was a formula. So you see, so percentage as well. This is how Excel understands percentage as. So if I write 0.02 and I want to convert it to 2%. So these are the basic, Excel. So you understand how Excel works with these things. If you want to do a simple work, with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and all of that. Now, let's go down to average. The same way, using the teacher example. So you use, let's say at the end of the year, where you now put together the 3-term results of the patient, not patient, why do I keep saying patient, of your students. Maybe because I work in a hospital. So you want to put together the 3-term results of your students, so that you now find their average for the whole year. So it's the same thing. It's just that you're not now doing 100 plus 200 plus 300 divided by 3. You're doing that, but you're using a function in Excel to do it, which makes it much easier and faster. So how do you do the average? You put your equal to sign and start typing average. Now, so it brings this out, avdev, and tells you, what it does. Returns the average of the absolute deviations of data points. You are not doing anything deviation, so that's not what you're looking for. You go to the next one, average, returns the average arithmetic mean of its arguments, which can be numbers or names or arrays or references. So this is what we want. We want a mean, an arithmetic mean of the numbers that, range of numbers we're looking for. You, again, go to the first one, drag down like we did in the sum, close the brackets, hit enter, and that gives you the average of all these numbers. And again, even if you've got 10,000 or 100,000 or 1 million rows of this, just with this formula, it does it at the same amount of time. Any questions? Yes, thank you. Quotient sign. Thank you. I have good students here. Any questions? No? Okay. So let's crack on. Now, the other example here is calculating maximum and minimum. So let's say that, again, using the Taylor example. So some people have come to your shop and they have paid for different services, but you want to find out who paid the highest amount in this shop today. So you use, okay, this is maximum. So let's first do this one, the minimum. So who paid the lowest amount in this shop today? What's the lowest amount of money that came into my shop today? Or what's the lowest, as a teacher, what's the lowest score that students have? I mean, when I was teaching, this is also part of, I don't check I don't check the highest score. I also check the lowest score because I see it as a reflection of me as a teacher. So if my students if I have, a good number of people scoring below half of the mark, then something might be wrong with the way I taught. Maybe I didn't pass the information well. So while I look at the maximum, the person who scored the highest, I also try to look at the minimum, who scored the lowest. Why would they be scoring that low? So let's say you want to find out the minimum number in a given range. The same way, you start typing equal to minimum. You see, so mean, it doesn't call it full minimum. So in Excel, it's called mean. So it says it returns the smallest number in a set of values, ignores logical values and text. So you're looking to return the smallest number. So you choose this function. And again, you go to the very first one, highlight it, hold down your left cursor, and drag down to the last number that you want to include in your analysis or in the range. You close it and you hit enter. And this gives you the minimum number. You can see the minimum number here is 20. Same thing with the maximum. So you put in and start typing max. It brings it out. Is this what we want? Returns the largest value in a set of values. Yes, that's what we want. So you select it. Again, you highlight the data that you want by dragging down. You close your bracket and you hit enter. Close now, Auntie. Why don't you want to close? So this gives you the maximum amount. And if you look through this data, we've got the maximum amount as $50. Any questions so far? Any questions? No? No. Thank you very much. This mathematics tutor, you know, they make me the fear. I not too like maths. Na Excel, they help my life. Okay, so all good. Let's crack on. All right. Now, the next function we are going to be looking now, please, can you confirm to me in the chat box that in your business, in your job, that you're beginning to see how you can apply this where you're doing? Yes, no, yes, no. Is it beginning to make real life sense to you? Because that's the idea. Okay, Sika said ampersand. Oh, okay, thank you. So can you confirm to me in the chat that this is beginning to make sense to you for your business, for your job, for anything you're doing, for your, as a student? Are you beginning to see how to apply it where you are? How many yeses? I want to get 10 yeses before I go on. Yes. Thank you, Chisom. Thank you, Oma. Chinaya said no. Okay. Oh. Chinaya, what do you do? What's your job so that I can talk about how you can apply it? Chinaya, what's your job? Obianuju, what do you do? You said no. How does it, what do you do? So I can know how, okay, yes, yes, yes. I have two more yeses to go. You're making a whole lot of sense. Thank you, Ma. Yes. All right. All right, all right, all right. Thank you for confirming that. Let's crack on. So the next function in Excel that we are going to be looking at is the fill. Have I done this before? Okay, let's take this out. So we can start from here. Okay, so we're going to be looking at filling. So this is looking like what we've done before. So I want to get equals here means we have this data. So we are trying to get the sum of this plus this. We want to get the results here. Oh yeah, somebody tell me, what should I do? How do I get here? Just one brave person. You can type it in the chat box. What do I do to get here? I want to do this plus this. What do I do? Okay, Chinaya, thank you for explaining that. Yes, yes, yes. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Anybody? All the people that are in this studio with me, I don't sleep. Where them?
Some 50%.
We are awake. Oh.
Mona, they answer me now. What's happen? So I want to do this plus this. I want to get the answer here. What I want to do? What do I do?
So I think you'd first put your equal to sign. Oh, yeah, equal
Equal to
to
sign.
sign,
Mm-hmm.
and then click on 50.
50.
Um, then your addition sign,
Addition sign.
and then you click on the 50 you have on this plus this,
Okay.
and then enter.
Enter.
Okay,
Correct.
so if you click, so that's for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need, right?
Okay, so
But
what
if
next
you
do I
want,
do? Mm-hmm.
if you want it to reflect on the remaining one, I think you just click on that very thick color at the base of 100 and drag down.
And drag down. Correct. Absolutely correct. And that's what we want to show here by filling. So that's one way to fill. Once you type in the first formula in the first cell, you can hold this, our dear friend, and drag down. Another way to do that would be to, again, once you've typed that in, you go to this, our dear friend, and double tap. And it could also fill it up for you. Now, dragging down is fine if you've got a very small data set like the one we've got now. But imagine that you have, like I always say, maybe because I'm a data analyst, okay, and I deal with, voluminous data. So let's say I've got data that's got like hundreds of thousands of rows, like what you're going to be dealing with when when you get to do your project, for those of you who will get to the end. If Mr. David is going to give you what he gave us, So if you have that volume, then you can't, for the life of you, begin to drag. So the flash fill would, work better for you that way. The same thing. So the same way here. If I want to add this up again, I also put my equal to sign. He did this plus this, which is good. So I always like using the sum, and then I'll sum this and this. I'll close the bracket, hit enter, and then I'll go to my little friend below here, double tap, and it flash fills for me. This again, revenue. To get revenue means how much was gotten. Can someone type in the chat box, those who are not in the studio this time, someone type in the chat box, how do I get revenue from here? Just in 1 minute. If you don't get it, if you don't know it, it's fine. Please don't feel pressured or challenged or anything. So I've got cost, which is cost price, and I've got quantity that was sold, and I want to know what my revenue is. How would I get it? Remember, we talked about different Excel functions here. Where is that place again? Yes, we talked about different Excel functions here, remember? So remember this function. So what do I do here? How do I get revenue here? Somebody, let me come to the chat and see what's going on. Yes. How do I get revenue? Anybody brave enough? Oh, co-creator initiative. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, God's favor, for putting in that formula. Thank you. I'm so glad to know that we're following and getting along. Anybody, how do I get revenue?
Cost multiplied by quantity.
I want to see it in the chat. Type it. Type how it should look like. Okay, Dora said equal to, click on the cost plus revenue. 60 times 78. You're very close. Yes, that's very correct. But I would have wanted you to refer to it as the cell. So The person who says 60 times 78 is correct. And I wanted to see that sign, that star sign or asterisk sign. That's what I wanted to see. That's absolutely correct. So equals to this times this. And that gives you enter. That gives you the revenue. Again, you double tap here and it fills it up. Now, I'll need to go in the next 20 minutes, but I want to correct something here, please. And please do pay attention, especially if you intend to start using Excel at any point. You see the answer we got here, and we're able to flash fill. Let's do something. Equals to, and I'm doing this because of the person who said 60 times 78. 60 times 78. Let's flash fill and see what happens. Can you see what happened here? What do you think happened? So we did the same thing here, Shebi. Now 60 times 78 we do, and we got the answer, and we flash filled, and then it gave us the relevant answers for the other fields without us having to type it in. But here we did the same 60 times 78, and then it's giving us the same answer all through. What do you think happened? Thank you, Co-Creator Initiative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's absolutely correct. It should be head 6 times I6. Absolutely correct. Now, look at what happens with Excel, okay? Remember that at the beginning, I mentioned something about cells. What Excel knows is a cell. Excel references cells. It does not necessarily reference the value in the cell. I'll take that again. Excel references the cell itself, and by default, it references the cell itself and not the value in the cell. But if you do any kind of hardcore formula like what we have here, where you are multiplying a particular value, Excel will not be able to reference that for the other cells. So please always be careful when you're trying to work this out. Don't be afraid of using formulas, because when you use formulas, it gives your worksheet flexibility for Excel to replicate it in other cells. But when you do a hardcore formula like this, where you're multiplying values alone, it will not be replicated in other cells. I hope this makes sense. Do we understand what I just explained? Yes, no? Does it make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's forge ahead. I'll take this off. So the next function we are going to, oh, you're so big. The next function we are going to be looking at here would be split. Split. Okay, so we've got this data in column A, and it has first name, last name, name of company, and everything is all modeled up in one column. One look at this tells us that this is not right. These things need to be split into different columns. So we want to have column A, first name in this column, last name in this column, and company name in this other column. So how do we do that? We select our data. Abby, I hope I'm not. Okay, yes. So let's go back to home. So to split this, you select the data that you want to split. So these are texts, and we want to move them to different columns. So you go to the data tab. Towards the right, you would see text to column. You select text to column. It brings up this pop-up and it tells us that in 3 steps, we should be able to split this data. This first step is asking us some questions about our data. So the data we want to split, can you please give me, Excel is saying, can you please give me a little information about yourself? So let's say you go to the hospital and you're unwell and the doctor, is asking you, okay, what can I do for you? Can you tell me a little bit about what's wrong with you? That's what Excel is saying now. So your data has got a problem. It's not well. In the data language, we said that this data is dirty. And so it needs to be cleaned up. So Excel is asking you some questions about what's wrong with your data or how your data is presented. So it's asking you, what's the original data type? So choose the file type that best describes your data. Is it delimited? And it goes ahead to explain what delimited means. Characters such as commas or tabs separate each field. Now, if we look at our data, if you look at this preview section under here, it's showing you your data as it is. So yes, we can see that our data is separated by commas and tabs. So we choose delimited because our data is delimited. And then we go on to next. This is step 2 of 3. You've said your data is separated by a delimiter. What is the delimiter? This is where you choose it. Our delimiter here is a comma because comma separates each data. So we click on comma. And now that we've clicked on comma, you can see what's happened in the data preview. So it has agreed with us that it is a comma that separates it. I've never really tried this, but I'm going to try it now and see what goes on. Let me uncheck the comma and check semicolon. You see, nothing happens because Excel has not recognized this as what is our delimiter. If we click on space, so it's found one that has space, which is Contoso Limited. There's a space between the name of the organization and the type of organization it is, whether it is limited or incorporated. So it's telling us that this is the only thing that is going to be separated. And this is not what we want, remember. What we want, look at our data, what we want is for first name to be here, last name to be here, company name together, which is Contoso Limited in one place. So this is not what we want for our data, so it's not that. So when you choose the right one, you see that Excel splits your data the way you want it to be. And then we go on next. This screen lets you select each column and set the data format. Okay, so what's your data like? Is it general? Is it a text? Is it dates? Is it, to be on the safe side, I always leave it on general, except of course it is date, go. Then I can choose date. So you leave it on general. Now it's asking you the destination where you want your data to begin. It has already chosen a default destination for you, which is cell A7. Cell A7. So if this is where you want your data to start with, to begin, you leave it that way. Let's leave it that way and see what happens. We click on finish. Voila. Yes, it has separated and splitted our data, hasn't it? Has it splitted our data? Did we achieve what we wanted?
It has separated it, but it
Yes,
not
yes,
fall
it
under
has.
selected field.
Yes, it has separated it. You're correct. It has separated it, but it did not go to the selected field. Okay, so why did it not go to the selected field? Can somebody? Why? Why do you think it didn't go to the selected field?
Because you selected cell A7 as the
Exactly.
destination.
Exactly, because I selected cell A7 as my destination. So it's done that. You see, Excel is still a robot. You know, sabi anything. Now you be the baba. Now you still be the baba. Your brain, now you see they control everything. So when I hear people say, "Oh, AI," let me not go there. That's differential. But you can see that your it's garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so what you put in is what you get out. So Excel is just following your instructions. That's why I said this thing is not hard. It's just for you to understand the English language so that you can guide Excel right. Now, so let's go back again and do this again. So under the data tab, text to column, you choose your delimiter. You tell your data is delimited. That's the type of data you've got. And then you go to the next, and then you choose your delimiter, which is a comma. And then it shows you what your data is looking like, and you're happy with it. That's fine. You go next again, and then you keep your data type as general to avoid wahala. And then you come to your destination and choose where you want it to start. This time around, we have to choose where we want because this is where we want our data to start. And you can see that Excel has taken our command, and then we click on finish, and voila, our data has been splitted exactly the way we want. Somebody please clap for Excel because Excel is doing well. Oh yeah, clap, 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 clap. I want to see your clap. Clap for Excel. Those that are online, clap for Excel. Put the clapping emoji, clap. Okay, so any questions up to this point? Good, good. Thank you, Preval. Thank you, Tinaya. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions so far? I need to get off at 2:00, sorry, because I've got another meeting that I'm going into. So I don't know. Do we stop here or do we just take one more and then we go? Transpose. Okay, transpose not supposed to hard now. So my screen don't freeze. Move now. Let me stop sharing. I'll share again. Okay. Oh, sorry. So sorry, in a minute I'll share again. My screen seemed to have frozen and I couldn't. So we'll just take one more, then I'll go off to my next meeting. Thank you for everyone who's clapping. Thank you. As you clap for yourself, clap for yourself because it's not easy to understand all this jargon. You see. Okay, so let's very quickly do the transpose, and this is where we'll be ending for today, so I can jump into my next call. Transpose. Okay, so look at this set of data here. We've got item, which is bread, donuts, cookies, cakes, pies. And we've got the amount that they were sold for, 50, 100, 40, 20. You see, now take a look at this data, okay? And, take a picture in your mind. You can see that the headings of this data are in the rows, right? Now, when we go back to any of the data we had before, we see that the headings here are in the columns. You see? So let's say that you got data where the headings are in the rows. But for the analysis you want to do, or whatever it is you want to do, you prefer it to always be, the headings to always be in the columns. How do you change that? This is where the transpose function is what will help you to do that. Okay, so what do? You select your data, all of it. The data that you want to transpose, select it. Okay, or you do Control A to copy. You go to where you.
Sorry, you are not sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm not?
Yes.
Oh my God, sorry. Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Is it up now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
But it's telling me that I'm sharing my screen.
It's not showing.
Okay. Oh. Present, share screen. Share screen, share your entire screen, click on that. See, share. And then, is it showing now?
No.
No. Okay. It's almost the end of class anyway, so I think we should I'm not sure why that's happening. It's supposed to be showing. Okay, I think we would end it here today. Mr. David, are you here? Have we got Kausar, any of the admins here? No. Okay. So I think we should end the class here because I'm jumping into another call in 5 minutes anyway. So any reviews? What's, have you learned anything today? Something that you'll be taking away? So we'll continue the class next week Saturday. So Mr. David will be taking you on tomorrow, and then I'll be taking you. We'll see you again next week Saturday at same time, 12 noon. 12 noon, yeah, 12 o'clock West African time. So any questions at all for me? Thank you, Ifoma. That's so heartwarming. Thank you. Thank you. So any questions, any contributions? Is there anything that I've done today that you wouldn't want me to do next week? Anything you want us to change so that we could get a better user experience? Thank you, Happiness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. Anything, just any feedback? So was I too fast? Was I too slow? Was I anything that you don't want? Or else this is the same person you're going to see next week. So if you don't like it, say something now so we can change something about that. Or else this is me signing out from today's class and saying thank you so very much for being here today. And I'll see you again same time next week. Stay blessed, stay out of trouble. Loala. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for
Bye,
today.
everyone.
Bye.